And welcome back. Today we are flying out the BV-155, the new Battle Pass vehicle, and do I think this thing is worth your time? Yeah, I'd say so. As a collector's item, it's definitely unique. It flies very different to anything else. It does have a little bit of a learning curve, because it's not conventional, it's definitely not meta, but it's not bad by any means. You have a pretty good turn rate, a pretty average climb rate, and a very bad top speed. It's a little bit of a discount or a TAR 152H from wish.com. But you're also at 3.7. The high altitude performance is not as important as you might think, because, well, it's 3.7. You will not be finding that many people at a super high altitude. So that's mostly a gimmick. Something that is actually usable, however, will be your turn fighting capabilities and just getting angles on people at low speed fights. The thing is, you won't be in very many high speed fights, because at 700 kilometers an hour you will rip your wings off, and anything near it you will compress like an absolute cow, so that's not very enjoyable. It is a little bit sluggish, and you can see that here in my aiming. I'm also just not very used to this thing, and as I said, it's kind of weird to fly, but it's not bad. And I do want to clear something up. This thing is pretty good if you face the average pilot. If you run into someone with discipline, with patience, or God forbid he actually has experience, you are going to get your ass eaten, and it's not going to be extremely fun, because this thing is extremely easily counterable because of the climb rate as well as the top speed. Now at high altitude this is not the case, but if you stay at high altitude, what are you going to do the entire match? Probably nothing. But it's free, it's level 50 of the battle pass, you don't have to buy anything, and if you play semi-frequently you'll probably get it without trying at all, and if you almost get it, just spend a few hours extra in the entire month to get the plane unlocked. So there's a guy below us, he's not a threat right now. We go ahead on with the P63, and we know that the P63 is extremely bad at low speed. So I want to pull this vertical as fast as I can. And a millisecond I see him go up like that. All I have to do is just hold. I just have to wait for him to stall out, because he eventually will. We go up, we use the flaps a little bit here, and we are going to stall right on top of him, fall right back down on him, and we just missed the shot, but no big deal, because he is going up again, and he's in a P63. And just from that little fight we build up an energy advantage from approximately 536,620 Newton. And we just get on the 6. There's nothing he can do anymore. He should have dived away a little bit earlier. Instead he doesn't. He sticks the fight, and he shows us how easily you win it. Especially versus a plane like the P63. Now the F6F is on the deck, and we are just going to dive on him. He also has the Key 44 going behind him, and he will be running him down. And all we have to do is just dodge the head-on. I'm not going to take it at all. I'm not even going to fly towards him. I just break off. I'm going to use my altitude to go up and over. He turns around to head on the Key 44. And all we have to do is dive on this guy and kind of finish him up. Now this roll rate is absolutely trash. I'm going to almost rip my wings off here. And then we just go straight up. This thing on the deck will go 450 kilometers an hour. Keep this in mind. If you engage someone on the deck, you miss your approach. Look at my speed right now, it's about 500. If I do one more pass and I have to break off, and this F6F is not damaged, we just crit him, you will start running you down. Be careful of that. You need to be aware of your energy, because the second you go below like 3 to 4 kilometers, you are an absolute sitting duck. And it's very easy for you to overlook the fact that you're going very slow, or will be going very slow in a few seconds time. And if you aren't aware of that, if you don't take note of that, you are going to get absolutely destroyed. You don't always have a choice, however, because very often you are going to get pushed down, because you don't have an amazing climb nor a top speed, so you can't really disengage other than diving away very often, and you will end up lower altitudes very often. If you get an XP50 or something just above you, that's going to be running your ass down. Not extremely fun. But I marked this Key 61. I told my guy next to me, go for the P38. We do that. We split up. We both engage someone. Key 61 goes down. I completely lost the Key P38. I know he's here somewhere, but I had an extremely long day. I then heard that his B-155 got at it. So I race my ass home. I sit down and I try to get as many games in as I can before the day ends, because I want to do this on day one. I want to provide you all with something decent, but I am completely fried. I'm baked as hell right now. But I'm glad the video is basically done. Just have to do the commentary here, and then I'm going to head off to bed. And to everyone, thank you still again, because I almost forgot actually to subscribe to my Patreon in the last week. Already like 20 people that subscribe. And it's honestly huge, because this means that I have to maybe work a little bit less and I can start pumping out a little bit more content. I see two S199s. I see that he's going head on with someone else, and I come in from the left or his right, depends on how you look at it. And I just kind of sideswipe him because he's not looking at me. We get an easy free crit in. But at the end of the day, S199s are always free. And to the guy that's in my comment section saying that this guy thing is actually good, I direct you to my S199 video. It is not. But feel free to prove me wrong. So we crit this guy. He is completely occupied with another one. He's crit. I'm gonna leave him alone. And for now, I'm just gonna leave him with the BF-109 F4. I'm gonna go underneath this S199. I use the speed that I still have to dodge his head on. And then I just go up. Because he has no chance ever following this. And you can tell here in a singular loop, he is completely stalled out. The problem is now, if you look at my speed, I'm going 370. If I dive out right here, I will probably be about 500 kilometers an hour. This wouldn't be a problem if I would actually keep accelerating, but I won't. I will actually decelerate to 450. And I'm not about to go 450 kilometers an hour in the guns of an S199. There still are two 151s as well as some 13 mils. So I'm going to use this thing, as we call in the Netherlands, a mountain, because it's higher than 20 centimeters above sea level. And we just go up. He has no chance really. He is crit, he is damaged, and he is too slow. I use the mountain to cut off his angle. Even if he gets lucky, he's not going to be hitting us, because I'm simply behind an entire Mount Everest. B-34 then flies up over us. He's not going to do much. I'm just going to cut him off. Shoot the first burst, we miss. Reload, click, and down goes the bomber. A little bit later, we are at a decent altitude. We climbed, we are at 4 kilometers. I saw this guy right below us, so I'm going to turn my engine off. I'm just going to dive on him, and I'm going to use especially the 530 mils that I still have by absolutely shoving it in his wing. So we go very, very close. We shoot his wing boot. We set his engine on fire, or the space between the engines on fire, and he is very nicely just going to burn up. I mean, what am I going to talk about here? He's going to do absolutely nothing. He's just burning up. He's going to turn into fireworks. But before he goes out, he turns into a frisbee. I gotta say, this is a lot more pleasant than the last time I played frisbee, because that time I actually dislocated my knee. But that's a story for another time. We are yet again at a medium altitude, 3.5, 4 kilometers, and we have an XP50 above us. The XP50 really wants us dead. He's gonna start spraying us down. And I know I have a teammate coming in. There's a Spitfire behind us, so I'm just gonna rope this guy into a dogfight as long as I can. Even if I won't get the shot, even if he's stalling me out, I'm just going to get this guy as slow as humanly possible. And I'm just gonna hold S right behind him. Because I know I need this guy out of the match. I need this guy to be gone so I can actually do something. So I'm gonna stay on him as long as humanly possible. And then when I'm really just about to stall out and I'm not risking it any longer, I'm gonna dive out, but I'm gonna dive out to this side. So if he follows me, the Spitfire is gonna get right on his 6. There comes the Spitfire. The XP50 instead decides to go head on with the Spitfire and manages to actually lose it. Spitfire is going to survive it. XP50 burns up instantly. The P2 is on our 6. Not the biggest threat in the world. But he is right in front of us, so I might as well take him down. As we are here. He dodges our guns, he dodges us again. Third time he doesn't dodge. And down goes the bomber. Yet again for the third time this video. So now I'm just looking around. I know that there are two guys right below us. And the problem with that is, if I dive on these guys, I will lose a lot of energy. And the lower we go, the worse our performance is relatively to the rest of the lobby. And we don't want that. So I'm kind of hesitant here to dive on the J22. But the J22 is pitching straight up. He's going extremely slow. And he's probably actually going to end up killing the D520. But the D520 decides to go full commit head on. At this point I've already committed. So I might as well just commit further, take his wing off, click again, take his other wing off. And we are going to try and extend away. The problem is my team isn't doing very well. They're getting tunnels snapped in the background. And they have a 3-man squad at altitude, as well as 2 other guys. And half that team is still unspotted. One of the guys at altitude kills one of my guys at altitude, which was one of the 2 guys that I actually had up there. So the second that Typhoon there dies, yeah, you're watching him right now, there he goes. I am now the highest person in the enemy team, and I'm in a BV. People don't know what this plane is, and that means that they are probably going to be pretty careful with it. They probably are going to want to kill me. I'm a high priority target, and they don't know what I'm in. which is a problem. P51 is on our 6, there's also one coming in from the right, but I'm going to commit to this P51 right now. I want to kill him as quickly as I can so I can turn it into a 1v1. Unfortunately, I missed the head-on. And now I'm going to have to 2v1 these guys. So I'm looking at the P51C on me. I'm going to dodge him, because I'm not really busy trying to gain positioning on him. I'm just trying to dodge the guy on my 6 right here. It's the P51 with the 20 mils. This is a fight I can very comfortably win. As long as they don't run and play it properly. If they keep this fighting up, I will end up killing him. The P51 turns in front of me, so I'm gonna gun him down real quick. And the other P51 is above me, he's stalled out, he can't actually get his nose on me right now. So I'm gonna go underneath him. And I should be very easily able to kill him here. The problem is, if I pitch up right now, I am simply going to die to the P39. So I lose armor positioning. I get reversed by the P51 because I have to switch targets. And right here, the P51C just simply dies. But the P39 is pulling back in, so I can't, because he's gonna get directly on my 6 instantly. So I push him away. I turn around for the P51, which I had to give all his positioning back yet again. And this time I'm going to go vertical, because I thought that the other P39 was going horizontal too. And I'm basically stalled out, so we're going to push the head on to scare him off. So here we are on Krimsk. We are at a medium altitude, 5.5 kilometers, which is actually pretty solid for us. And we're just going to be looking around who to engage. The Spitfire and the F4C, the F6C are flying away from us, so we are alone here with a C202DN. So we go up. Yet again, we go up. This is something I do very frequently. I'm trying to shed some speed. I'm going to try to get positioning. I'm trying to get an angle as quickly as I can. And with this thing, you're going to be stuck at low speed. So I'd rather turn all the speed that I have at the start of the fight into altitude, so I can use it, other than burning it all in horizontal turns and then running out of horizontal energy in the long run. There I could have killed him, but I wasn't able to actually get my nose on target, because this roll rate at super low speed and super high speed are actually pretty shit. In general, it's alright, especially if you use the rudder to roll. But if you don't, especially if you're not at medium speed, yeah, you're gonna have a bit of a bad time. C202 stalls himself out. He ran out of energy, was still going to 80. And I see that the BV is together with the Spitfire. But then I noticed that there's a guy above him, it's a Yak 1. So I'd rather go 2v1 those guys in the middle and leave these two guys to do their own thing, because the Spitfire is probably dead. Looking at the Yak 1, the way he's flying, he's not committing, he's playing it safe, he's playing it patiently, which is probably an indication that he kind of knows what he's doing at least. I don't know how good he is, but he at least shows some discipline, so I'm pretty confident that he's going to kill him. I'm still going to keep my eye on him, and you can tell that I'm debating if I should turn around or not, but he hasn't, so that's perfect. Just as planned, and now we can start fighting the P63 together with the RE2001. And the RE2001 isn't the most dangerous plane here, especially considering we have some altitude and some speed to work with here. We're coming in with 640, and if you have a fight that you come into with a lot of speed in this thing, you're golden. You're probably going to kill them very easily. Now here is the roll rate again, can't actually get my guns on target. I'm going 700 IES. So I'm just gonna go very up. We're going to go very up. Man, it's really time for me to go to bed. So we go up. We're gonna stall this guy out. We can just recommit right now. He doesn't have the energy to head on us, so we can just nose right down on him. If he had tried to go head on with us, yeah, it wouldn't have ended very well. He would have just stalled out. That's the best thing he could have done in the long run. He just kind of got shafted by his teammate that ran away. But at the same time, the teammate should run away, because the teammate, well, they shouldn't turn fight me at the same time. So they did the right thing, but they had so much energy and they didn't have the ability to run away. So I just end up two-turning these guys. And down goes the enemy team. So here's the last guy, it's a Spitfire. And I'm just including this for inclusivity's sake. English is hard. And I'm pretty lucky here that I have a teammate, because the Spitfire, especially one that's above me, I'm not sure if I could win versus that. If I have more energy than it, I'm pretty confident, because I will just be able to stall him out. I will just be able to boom and zoom him all day long. But in a scenario like this, I think I'm not going to be doing very well. Luckily he gets distracted, and down goes the Spitfire. We have a P40 here. Again, we have some altitude, we have some energy here to work with, and we're just gonna wait a little bit to get on this guy's 6. And the second I see he comes head on with me, I'm not taking that. So I just break off. And look at my speed. Even though this climb rate is pretty bad, even though I'm going straight vertical, keep in mind this thing is 3.7. Definitely better than the whirlwind that I flew yesterday. So he stalled out, we click on him, and down goes the P40. And here we are for the last few clips. We have a P38 as well as an I-16 right next to us. Two I-16s actually, but they're a little bit low. They're not gonna be proving much of an issue. So I'm gonna keep this little dive up here. We're at 520 of 50 to 100 meters. We are actually pretty decently fast up here. Not amazing, but certainly not slow as balls as we would be in, well, on the deck. So again, I go up. I'm gonna turn all my energy into altitude. And at this point he should just dive out, which he does just a little bit too late. So this time I'm just gonna spray on him, shoot his wingtip off, hit him again, hit him again, hit him again, hit him again, this time with a 30 and multiple rounds as well. And you guessed it, he's on fire in the flat spin. What do the Spitfires do? He flew 9 kilometers just to steal him. And of course I call him a rat, because that's what we do. P651C goes underneath us, and again we just have too much energy for this guy, so we are just gonna turn into him, and he can't really do anything. This plane is amazing if you have an energy advantage. The problem is getting an energy advantage in this thing is a little bit of a problem. And since we're already talking about rats, let me introduce you to Mr. Da Papa in his F6C. What has Da Papa done this game? He has killed 4 AI planes, RTB'd and circled the base over here for the remainder of the match. And extremely way fun to spend your time, because you just let the game play for yourself. At this point, why would you even take off? Just sit on the runway, go play Cookie Clicker, and you'll have about the same impact for the remainder of the game. Yes, I am flaming this guy. No, I do not care. This guy has been circling the airfield for approximately 5 to 10 minutes. Why? Because he doesn't want to play the game. Luckily, this map has very little AA, it doesn't actually do that much damage, so it ends up doing absolutely nothing. And he's going to pay for his sins. He is going very slow here, and look at the discrepancy of energy. I just hold it. And yes, I slap him with a rat at the end, because that's what you do. Talk about rats, here comes Shadow Piggy, also an animal, but this one is actually a pretty decent fight. He's not a rat, don't get me wrong, I'm just referring to him as an animal because he has Piggy in his name. So again, we go up, and the Typhoon is extremely dangerous. It's a very good dogfighter. We almost kill him right there. I think I blocked. I'm not entirely sure. I might have missed it, might have just flown between my guns, but I could have killed him right there. Luckily I didn't, because this fight would have been very, very short and very, very boring. Here we pull in, and just as I start to shoot, he rolls out of the way, and the Typhoon might roll pretty poorly. We also do that, so we end up doing absolutely nothing. I lead here, I just bin it, I just miss everything. And I'm glad I did, because now I can show you what happens if the enemy just runs away. I'm helpless. There is nothing I can do here. So I'm just gonna give him some room, give him some space. I'm going to be breaking off, and I'm going to be letting him engage me. Once he does, I'm gonna start turning back in, because I'm not gonna give him my 6 for free. We go underneath him, and we're gonna drop our throttle a little bit, something you don't do very often in this thing. I notice that he's going vertical, so we're gonna just full send up after him. And at this point he's actually too slow, he doesn't have the separation, and he's gonna be ending falling from the guns. Thank you all for watching, see you all in the next one.